This is the official podcast of the one and only Preston North End Football Club PNE pod. My name's Niall.
And I'm Neil Mellor. We'll be talking to some PNE legends, some former players, some current first team ones, and also some famous fans.
Absolutely. And we've got the first team goalkeeper, Freddie Woodman, on PNE pod today. Someone who's grown up within the game. His dad was a player, now a manager.
Yeah, brilliant. He talks about his dad. He also talks about goalkeepers being a different breed. Not weird, just different.
Your words, not mine. Your words, not mine. He spoke about coming up through Palace and going to Newcastle and, of course, making a home for himself at Preston North End, where he made, Mel's, a rapid start to life, 7 clean sheets in a row when he first signed.
Incredible. Yeah, absolutely incredible. He tells us about some of his targets for PNE and also in his career as well.
And of course, he won the U20 World Cup in 2017, played with some amazing players. So let's hear what Freddie Woodman has had to say on PNE pod. Newcastle was obviously a good sort of learning curve for you at the start. You mentioned the U20 World Cup there in 2017. England win it. You win the Golden Glove. You save a penalty against Venezuela in the final. You must have thought at that point, this is unreal. This is just the best. Being able to pull on that 3-line shirt and then win a World Cup with England.
Yeah, it was quite incredible, to be honest. Yeah, it was. Looking back now, I wish I could go back and do it all again, because at the time you're sort of so young, everything's happening so quickly, and that you don't really get a chance to like take it in. But yeah, looking back, it's probably one of the best memories of my career. Like you said, the final itself, the whole competition really was incredible, but the final itself, saving a pen, winning the Golden Glove, it's like every boy's dream really, and it was quite incredible.
Who were the best players? Because I've written a few names down here: Tomori, Konza, Calvert-Lewin, Solanke, Lookman, all gone on and played many times at the top level. How good were they at that sort of age? Yeah,
I think you knew that whole team was quite special. Even from when we won the Euros at like under-17s, and that there was the same sort of players, your Solankes, your Calvert-Lewins, that they were there then. And I think earlier, you can, if you see a young player, you know they got ability, and you think he's really got a good chance. And that under-20 team, I think everyone in the squad's gone on to play like at a really decent level. So it's been quite incredible, really.
Do you keep in touch with them?
Yeah, always speak to them. Always catching up with them. Even when I signed here, obviously Lego was my captain throughout my whole England career, really.
Who's Lego?
Ryan Ledson.
Okay.
Oh yeah, he was the captain. So yeah, when I signed here, he gave me a text and must have heard rumours that I was signing here, trying to get me to sign and stuff. So
Josh Onomah as well.
Josh Onomah, yeah, he come, yeah. So yeah, like so many players that you play with, you come up against, you see him, and you end up talking about the old times when you're younger. It's great.
Strikers always talk about the buzz when the ball hits the back of the net. What's it like when you save a penalty in a World Cup final?
Yes, well, at that moment, really, I was just trying to think, like, just try and get to the end of the game. Like the timer was going so slow; it just felt like it was a lifetime. Just waiting to get to the end of the game. But after, when when you sit down, you watch it back, and you're like, wow, like, I can't believe that happens, really.
Yeah, unbelievable, and some great players that you played with. What about some of the great players that you've played against? Because when you're at Newcastle, you played in the game against Manchester United when Ronaldo returned and he scored
2.
I know you got a little bit of stick for that, but what was it like playing against someone like him?
Yeah, that was a mad day, really. Yeah, the whole week, really, because obviously he come back, and then the build up all week. Like, you turn on Sky Sports, you're seeing it, interviews, stuff. It was crazy. Even like going to the game, it was just, Manchester was just like red, 7 shirts everywhere. Yeah, it was unbelievable. I remember standing in the tunnel and like looking to the side and seeing like De Gea, Pogba, Luke Shaw, Varane. I'm thinking to myself, like, I forgot they're these players. Like, everyone was focused on Ronaldo. But yeah, difficult day, but it was a real learning curve to play against such experienced players.
Do you feel more pressure? Because people sort of say when they see that name on the team sheet and Ronaldo returning, did you feel a little bit more pressure maybe with that one?
If I'm being honest, I was thinking, right, I really want to be the keeper that stops him scoring on his return and like really like just mess up his return. Didn't go to plan, obviously. I remember the first goal going in, and I'm thinking I didn't really get to see you put it in because it was like a rebound, and then I heard the sue from like the whole crowd, and I was like, oh, he scored, like gutted. But yeah, just a crazy day, but one of them experiences where I learned so much from. I felt, and I took it on board what I learned and tried to add it, like learn things from my game and improve.
You always hear, don't you, about outfield players, how when they reach their mid to late 20s, approaching 30, that's the peak of their career. But with goalkeepers, it always seems to be different in terms of getting those games under your belt. You mentioned wanting to reach 500 games, but do you think sometimes with goalkeepers it is a little bit about sometimes taking those knocks and learning and growing from those?
Yeah, I'm a big believer in life in general. Like, even if you're not a footballer, you take knocks, you take setbacks. And I've always been brought up with they're only setbacks and they're only knocks if you don't learn from them. And like, if you take lessons from them and add them to your life, add them to your game, there's only one way it improves you. It makes you a better person. It makes you a better player. So, I've tried to just do that throughout my career. I know that there's been so many setbacks, and I know there's so many setbacks to come in my career. I just think it's the way I react to them that's gonna make me a better player, and that's just something I believe in.
Why are you like that? Somebody taught you to be like that, or?
Probably my old man, really. Even when I speak to him, he has so many regrets about his career and so many things where he would have liked to have done better, and he openly says that to me, that he'd like to do things better, and he felt like he never, if he had a setback, he never really done anything about it. He just got on with it, or went down a snooker hall, really. So yeah, I think he's brought me up with that sort of way of living, and I've tried to add that not only to my career but just to my life in general, really.
I guess that's something that maybe wasn't as prevalent in the game when your dad was playing, because footballers know how to look after their bodies. They're sort of programmed to do that from an early age. But it's important, I think, to a lot of people now, and it's definitely important to you, to look after your brain and your mental health and mindfulness. That's quite a key thing for you, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's super important, really. You know what it's like. When you're playing, you always feel like there's just pressure situation after pressure situation. You got one big game like yesterday, you got another big game Saturday. It just constantly feels like there's just big games all the time. So I think it's important. Like you manage your mind, you switch off, and you really look after the mental side of your well-being.
What about social media? How's that affected you during your career? Because when I was coming to the end of my career, that was when sort of social media started to really grow. And I remember getting advice when I was a little bit younger to sort of say, no matter how nice a person you are or good a person, somebody will always not like you. That's just the way it is. And that helped me, because in social media, like, you could have a great game, but one person just won't like you. And that's the way it is. So how have you handled with all that social media?
Yeah, it's like you said, we've sort of been brought up on it and been sort of taught about it in a way. Social media can be such a great platform for you to interact with fans, and for me, when I was on it, I felt it was such a great platform for me to interact with like younger goalkeepers and younger players that they sort of look up to you. But like you said, not everyone's going to like you. Some people are just not going to like you for some reason whatsoever, and they end up putting it on social media.
Usually Blackpool fans or Burnley fans, you'll find.
Play
for Preston.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. But yeah, lately, I don't have any social media. I thought like it was.
What, you've made that decision to get rid of it?
Yeah, all? Like I speak to people about it openly. Like I felt like the world news was like impacting my mind and just really like clouding my judgment. So I just decided, right, I'm gonna switch off from all social media and all news platforms. Like I didn't really want to get involved. I just felt like it was impacting my mood and really having a negative impact on my daily basis, really.
And do you feel better for that then?
Yeah, I feel so much better for it. Yeah, haven't been on for months now. Don't really look.
Do you miss it at all, social media?
Do you know what? It was more of like an addiction thing, and you constantly just going on your phone, picking up your phone, going on like Instagram almost, or Daily Mail app and just flicking, reading. I'm a big reader, so like. Yeah, I was just taking on so much like negative information. I truly believed it was just just making me a negative person. So I come off it.
Do you miss out on conversations with the lads? Who
Yeah,
maybe
I
talking
do.
about that?
Yeah. People always like, oh, did you see this video? Or did you see that meme? Or did you see this happen? And I didn't see it. And then I'll have to end up like showing me. I ended up seeing it. But yeah, I do miss out on so much stuff. But in terms of like just seeing like constantly like negative stuff, it's just it's been refreshing. I feel like I have so much more free time, which is mad.
Are you the only one in the Preston squad that is off social media? Or is there anyone else, a bit of an ally to say, yeah, I'm off it as well?
I'm not sure. I don't know. I'm trying to think of other people that have come. I know that some people don't go on it as much.
Yeah, because we spoke to Andy Fensham and Ryan Kidd about this, who are both under-18 coaches. And I asked them about whether, if you were a youngster now, would you even start a social media account? Or would you just not have it at all? And he said, well, a lot of the time that's how they communicate now, the youngsters. So it's almost like they have to be on it. Yeah. But it's so hard to control what you see and things like that. And I think that's where the difficulty comes, because you do feel like the odd one out if you're not using it. And I think when you're a bit older, like you are now, you can kind of accept that that's your place within the group and you don't have social media. But when you're younger, you're sort of a teenager and everyone else has got it and you feel like the odd one out, that can be impactful in a way.
100%, yeah. It's like a herd mentality. You don't want to be the odd one out. And I was the same when I was younger. I wanted just to fit in with everyone and be the same as everyone. Whereas now I like being who I am, and I'm not afraid to say, do you know what, like them sort of things were impacting me, making me more negative than I should be. And I can just step away from it, and I've been happy for that, really.
Neil Mellor scored. Preston take the lead. And that's exactly what it means to Neil Mellor to score in the West Lancashire derby.